So we're going to start with the top left question. We're going to find the range for both of those sets. To find the range, it's the difference between the largest number and the smallest number in that set. So for A, the largest number is 18 and the smallest number is 10. And 18 minus 10 is 8. For set B, the largest number is 21 and the smallest number is 2. So 21 minus 2 is 19. To find the mean or the average, we take all the numbers and we add them up and then we divide by how many numbers that are there. So for set A, we're going to do 10 plus 17 plus 17 plus 18 plus 12. And there are 5 numbers there. So what you want to do when you find the average as a check is your average has to be somewhere between your largest and smallest number. So if you get 64.4, you need to put this in 2 different steps in the calculator. The first is just to find the numerator first. You add all those numbers up, you're going to get 74. And then 74 divided by 5 is 14.8. So now we do the same thing for the next one. So for set B, 2 plus 12 plus 7 plus 17 plus 21. We're going to divide that by 5. 2 plus 12 plus 7 plus 17 plus 21 is 59. And 59 divided by 5 is 11.8. Next, I'm going to do the bottom right question. We're going to find the median for that group. When you find the median, you have to organize the numbers from smallest to largest, or least to greatest. Notice that there are 5 numbers there, so that's just my little check here at the end. So I have 55, 55, then 75, 85, and then 115. And there are 5 numbers there. So the median is the middle number. And if it's a really long list, you go through and just cross out the largest, cross the smallest, go back and forth until you're left with 1, and then we have 75. That's if we have an odd amount of numbers, which we do there. When we have an even amount of numbers, we have to average the middle 2, which we'll do here in a moment. But first, let's find the mean or the average. So for this set of data, we're going to add all the numbers up, and then we're going to divide by how many numbers that are there, which are 6 in this case. And if you get a number like 83.83, that means you put it in the calculator incorrectly. You've got to have the average has to be somewhere between the smallest and largest number. So when we add them up, we're going to get 98, and 98 divided by 6, depending on where we need to round it, it's about 16.33 if we round it to the nearest hundredth. That's the second decimal. So for the next part, we're going to find the median. So again, we have to put the numbers from smallest to largest, or least to greatest, and note that there are 6 numbers there. So to find the median, we'll cross out the smallest and cross out the largest. Do it again, but I can't do it in this one, the 17 and the 19, because there'll be no numbers left. So when you have an even amount of numbers to start with, which we did, we average the middle 2. So, and you could have a decimal for this, but 17 plus 9 over 2 is 36 over 2, which is 18. So the median would be 18. What that means is half the data is above 18, half the numbers are below 18. Mode, of course, is the number that comes up the most. You could have more than one mode, and you could also have no modes if none of the numbers come up. But we can see that 17 here comes up twice, so that would be our mode. Note this important fact. If there is an outlier, we would use the median as the best measure of central tendency. And if there is no outlier, then we would use the average. There are formal definitions of how to calculate to see if there is an outlier. But for our purposes, just look at to see if there's a number that's really far away from everything else. And that would be the number 2. 2 is really far away from everything else on here. So for this question, since there is an outlier, we would say, hey, the median would be the best measure of central tendency. So this last question, the students are taking 4 tests, and the student wants an average 85. So that means the student would have taken 5 tests. So we're going to add all these numbers up and divide it by 5, and that's going to equal 85. So we need to solve this. What I would recommend doing is simplify the numerator first by adding up all the numbers that we can, and that would give us 337 plus x over 5 equals 85. This is a problem from a while ago. We multiplied both sides by 5 to get rid of the fraction. That would give us 337 plus x equals 425. And then we would subtract 337 on both sides, and that would give us x equals 88. If you have any kind of questions, ask your math teacher.